Hey everybody, what's going on? I just wanted to make a video today to talk about the upcoming season in Smite. Just, general plans, content plans, pro league plans, just all of it. As I'm sure many of you can tell, I have not been as active as I would like to be on the YouTube channel, and I want to apologize for that. I know that a lot of you were really enjoying the guide series that I was working on at the end of season 9. Unfortunately, I just did not find a way to plan my time as well as I would like between getting sick a bunch at the end of the year and also holidays and, the end of the phase tournament and worlds. My time just got pretty split up, unfortunately, so I didn't really get to do everything that I wanted to do on YouTube. Yeah, I'm definitely sorry about that. I will be picking up pretty much all of that. I've had a lot of you ask me about, hey, those support guides that you were doing, do they still carry over? Are you going to redo them? I am going to redo them. So item tier list, god tier list, build, map, everything like that. I have a lot of things planned. I've been streaming a lot, so if you haven't been checking that out, definitely go to my Twitch link and go follow the stream and hang out over there. I stream just about every day. We don't have our season start until really like the middle of March, and even then I think our first like actual SPL games are in April. So for the most part, I'm just going to be content grinding for like the next month, month and a half, 2 months, whatever that is. So I want to talk about some of those plans and also talk about the upcoming Pro League season. So I guess I'll focus on content for now. I have a bunch of content that I have planned. Some of it is gameplays, some of it is guides, some of it's tier lists, etc., etc. I'm also going to be doing shorts on this channel, so you might see anything from funny clips or Twitch highlights or something like that, or you might see informational things like, for example, I have a short planned about the start of the game and how to clear buffs properly and that type of stuff. Just small things that you don't really think of every game that will improve your gameplay a lot. So really, I'm just looking to explore anything within YouTube. It's been something that has kind of taken a back seat to Twitch for me the past year or so, and I'd like to kind of put more effort into growing this channel and into making it more informative. It will still have gameplays and things like that, so if you didn't check them out on Twitch or you didn't get the chance to watch streams, or if you just don't like watching streams, it will still be here, at least all of the good games or the highlights or whatever. And I will try to do mostly like bi-weekly or monthly updates. So for example, I'll still do patch notes reviews, or maybe at the start of the week, if I'm playing only mage supports that week, I might give you guys a short little clip at the start of the video like I used to, saying like, hey, I want to try mage supports, here's why, here's the build, here's why we're doing what we're doing, and kind of give you guys basically like a step-by-step not program, I don't know how to word it, like a step-by-step tutorial on, hey, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm testing, here's why I think it's good, here's what I think is also good, pros, cons, all that sort of thing. So I have a lot of things I have planned. I'm gonna try my best to get it out there. I've looked for kind of like a style that I want in terms of like an editor and things like that. I've had my girlfriend Leah help with it, and I'm also gonna have my younger brother help me with it as well, and also maybe outsource some like montages, highlights, blah blah blah. So I have a lot of things planned. Definitely follow the channel and pay close attention to it, and I'm going to do my best to get it all out there. Of course, I am still a pro league player. That is a huge amount of effort and time that I put into that. That is my main focus in terms of Smite. So I want to take advantage of my downtime while I have it. There will also be quite a lengthy break in the middle of the summer, so you might find that during the season it's mostly gameplay, patch notes, that type of thing, but really before the season, in the middle of the season, and at the end of the season, that's when I want to put a lot of guide content out there. So if you have ideas, if you have things that you want to see, if you have questions, pretty much just ask them in any video. We'll see it, we'll write it down, we'll try to, make videos or guides or whatever to answer the questions you may have. And I think that's most of it on the Twitch and YouTube, content creation side of things. So yeah, hopefully that answers any questions. Hopefully you guys are excited. I definitely am. YouTube is something that I really haven't ever gotten a great grasp on. Like, I always get you guys saying very nice things about wanting me to continue making content and that you enjoy it, but honestly, I just like, my brain just doesn't connect with YouTube in the way that it does with Twitch in the past, so I'm gonna be working my best on it, so bear with me, give me some time on it, and we will get it out there. Without further ado, I'd like to talk a little bit about roster stuff. So for those of you who have not been around much in Twitch or Twitter, you might not know that we are not staying together on the Dragons anymore. I will no longer be playing with Pandacat. He's retiring. So what is it, like, since season 4, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6 seasons in a row, I played with Max, with Pandacat, and this will be the first season that I play with a new ADC, because he is retiring, or at least taking like a year-long break, something like that. He might change his mind or whatever, but he basically just needs a break. So that is going to be really weird to have a different ADC for the first time in... Well, I guess I played with Arkhill for a year and Max played mid, but for the most part, just not having Max in my backline for the first time in 7 years, that is really, really crazy to think about. I'm partially excited. I'm partially like, you know, is this gonna feel weird or whatever? But yeah, I think a break will be good for him. I think he wasn't enjoying the game as much as he was before. He still, you know, streams and does content and all that type of stuff, so you guys should definitely keep going to his Twitch and keep watching him. You know, Max is still the boy. We love him. I just hope that the break goes well for him and that he kind of, you know, feels refreshed from it. We've all felt that before, where we feel burnt out or whatever, so that'll be pretty interesting to see how the year plays out. With that being said, that kind of left the rest of us in the spot of, you know, what do we want to do? I've played with Alec for, I believe, 4 seasons, right? 6, 7, 8, 9. So 4 seasons. I've played with Alec as well, with Fine OK. The two of us had kind of discussed things and kind of said, you know, we, of course, like, we love each other as teammates, as friends, as all of that, but also we have spent a lot of time together, and, you know, as always, you know, you kind of have that curiosity of, like, what would it be like playing with another support? What would it be like if he played with another support, if I played with another solo laner? Like, how would that go? And ultimately, we just came to the conclusion that we've had a really good run, and we just think something new would be good for us. We just feel like something new would kind of rejuvenate us, kind of give us more energy, give us a different perspective. That's something that we've really learned from other friends and other former teammates around the league, is that I think just to grow, you kind of have to be around new people. That's something that was honestly one of the main reasons I wanted to play with Alec in the first place. Was before that I had played with, you know, Benji or Salt Machine, and I just felt like, you know, what would it be like to play with a different solo laner? How would they be as a teammate? How would they be as a player? Like, how do they think about the game? And I learned a ton in that process and from that experience. I'm super proud of what me and Max and Alec and all of our other teammates, you know, Scream and Pegon last year, and Twig and Hurry and everyone else the years before, Sam, of course. Like, I'm super proud of all the things that we accomplished. I know a lot of people will talk about, you know, not being able to win worlds or, you know, losing 2 finals, but honestly, I think people are a little bit off their rockers with that. You know, I'm fortunate enough to have won before. I don't see it as a downside to play in 3 finals. You know, there are not many players that have played in 3+ finals. I think it's like me, Zap, Max, Twig, Aurora, Paul. Like, it's a pretty short list of people who have gotten to play in that many, and of course you'd like to win every single time you can, but I regret absolutely nothing from our time teaming together. I'm super proud of everyone. I cherish a lot of those relationships and memories, of course, but I'm looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to something new. So I really felt like, for me, I've been, I don't want to say autopilot, but I don't think I've been the best that I could be. I think that there's been some lingering, not necessarily like disagreements, but I just think like stylistically I've wanted to change things up with, like, you know, how the team is run or playstyle or things like that. And I really haven't had my foot on the gas pedal as much as I would like with that sort of stuff. And I think Scream helped a lot with that when he joined the team. I felt like it kind of gave me a spark back to, you know, how we used to, you know, play together on E United many, many years ago, and, you know, kind of how we saw the game. And I felt like it kind of brought me some of my old ideas back, so then they felt like new ideas, but, you know, they were really the old ideas. But in any case, I just felt like it was a different perspective for me, and it kind of made me realize that I think that something fresh would be really good for me. I think that I've been wanting to play the game differently than we have been for quite a long time. So I think for me, it'll be a pretty steep learning curve and a style change, but also one that I'm really looking forward to, that I think will be better for me and my new teammates as a result. So At the time I'm recording this, the rosters have actually not been announced. I know that we're doing the announcements on Friday, February 3rd, so the idea is to upload this video, on the 3rd or the 4th or something. So you should see the rosters by now. I will be playing with the former Warriors core. So that will be Nika, Dardas, and Vote. Fred and Neil are both retiring slash taking a break. I think Fred is going to fully retire, and I think Neil is currently planning on coaching. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe Neil is currently planning on coaching. So that'll be pretty interesting to see. The core of Dardas and Vote and Nika have been together for many, many years. They were really successful back when we were on Go/Rival. They were pretty much a top 2 team consistently throughout all of Season 6 and Season 7. The teams they lost to in the world, pretty much same as us. They lost to, the SKPK teams, Paw, Zap, all of them. So anytime they lost in Worlds, they lost to the eventual champions pretty much every time. They're a core that has been very successful together, but the last 2 years kind of been disappointing, I think, from everybody. And I think, the first season that they were together in Season 8, Fred, Dardas, and Neil all had visa issues due to COVID, so they weren't really able to travel. They all played on like 130, 150 ping, which, of course sucks. And then this year they were a lot better. They rode some high highs and some low lows and just generally had a rough time with consistency. And I think that's something that I am hopeful that I can help with, to bring a more consistent playstyle, bring some leadership, bring some perspective into the team. I know a good bit about how they work just due to, I've known them all for years, and they're all like insanely talented players. And also our coach Cherry was also their jungle for many, many years, and was one of the best junglers in the league when he played with them, and they were super successful. Cherry will still be the coach with us, so it'll be Cherry coach, me support, Vote ADC, Nika solo, and Dardas in mid. I'm so excited to play with those guys. They're all people who, honestly, like if I was like picking a team apart with a bunch of different people, I would consider all of those guys top players in their role that I really wanted to play with individually. But the fact that they also have a lot of synergy and a lot of experience together, I think is only a pro. And I've asked them a little bit just about, how they feel like their team functions and that type of stuff. So I'm really excited for that. I think it'll be great. And then I think maybe the teammate that I'm most excited to play with, which is, I would not have told you this initially, because I would have originally thought it would be Dardas, because I love messing with that guy. It's actually our jungler. Laspra is going to be the final member of the team. He has been a player who I think has improved a ton over the past few years. I've only heard good things about him as a teammate, and as a player, he's also, in my opinion, been one of the most consistent and impressive junglers in the league. And when I got a chance to talk to Last throughout the off season, he was someone that just kind of like blew me away. Was super impressive, just how he thought about the game, how he wanted to run a team, how he wanted to communicate, play the game, just everything just sounded incredible. And of course, I'm still good friends with Ven, or other teammates of his, and I've only heard good things about him as a teammate, and I'm really, really excited to play with Lass. I think that the two of us together can bring a new perspective to the Warriors boys that they really didn't have before, and hopefully build a nice foundation with that team. I think everybody on the team is super talented. I am playing with 4 European players, and I guess technically Cherry's a European coach, but whatever. So yeah, that is definitely a change of pace for me. I've mostly been on all NA teams for a majority of my career, except for Rival. We had, a couple European players, and Slaney was a coach, so it was kind of 3-3, but not really. So yeah, it'll definitely be different for me to learn how all of those guys think and play, and hopefully both myself and them, we all learn something from each other and improve together. So I'm super excited for that. I think it'll be a good year. I actually was helping them move into the team house last night and yesterday all day, so we're gonna set up a scrim room and stuff, I think. So I'll be commuting to work, going over to their house to hopefully scrim with them a good bit. So maybe we'll do some collab content or stuff like that as a team, kind of get some stuff out there, introduce you to everybody, whatever. We'll see about that. No promises yet, but that's an idea I'll float out there. But yeah, I'm very, very excited. I guess in terms of branding, we will be playing under the Jade Dragons. We will not be playing under the Warriors. And the reason for that is basically since all of us split, they didn't want to lose the Dragons, brand, because it's kind of, I mean, we're Jazzberry jamming. We're getting jammed. We're jamming other people. We're doing all of those things with the jam. And in my opinion, it's one of the best brands in the SPL. So it'll be sticking with me, I suppose. And the Warriors boys are coming over under that with me and with Cherry and along with Last. So I'm really excited for that. I think it's going to be really fun. I guess thoughts on the rest of the league as well, really quickly. King staying exactly the same. Of course, world champion team. They haven't lost since they picked up Hardcore, so they're still riding that win streak. Very talented players. It'll be really fun to play against them and see how they do after, winning Worlds. Historically, the world champion team slumps a little bit at the start of the year, so we'll see how that goes. But insanely talented team, smart guys. Really excited to play against them for another year. 3 years together with this core being together. Hardcore is the only person that has swapped out with Netroid, so definitely a really talented team. They'll be sticking. The team that they beat in the finals this past year was the Titans. The Titans have a fairly similar roster. They've swapped out their side laners, and they will have Baskin solo, and they'll have Cyclone once again in ADC. Aurora and Cyclone, of course, have played together, pretty much forever. I think they're going into their 6th year together, or 7, something like that. They're basically now, because Max is stopping and Aurora and Cyclone are playing together for a year, they've played together as long as Max and I have. So, of course, storied duo lane, super talented players. They played with Sino before. He's back. He's committing a full year to the SPL now that he's done school. Same thing with Baskin. They'll have him solo with Paul. So, insanely talented team, kind of a throwback team. They'll be playing under the Ferrymen, which is kind of funny. They took the SCC brand, which is, right here, the Styx Ferrymen. They want to be boat boys, throw it back to Armada for all of you that get that. But yeah, that is their plan. The Leviathans, of course, have Alec or Fino-K instead of Haddix, and they have Adapting instead of Phantom. That is crazy to think about, to have Adapting back in the league. I am really, really excited about that. Adapting, of course, one of, the best players ever. Hasn't been playing in the SPL the past couple years, but played SCC last year and made Worlds and, took a team on a pretty good run. Kennett's always been one of the best guys to have around the league, so really excited to have him back. Of course, with all of us breaking up, Daniel has a new team with Solar Troll, Awesome Jake, Hannah Tom, and Netroid, so kind of people who were previously on 5 different teams, but have some history together. Sot, Daniel, and Jake have been friends for a very, very long time. Phantom and Netroid played together in the old Sanguine team and when they were in the SCC and all of that, so they have a lot of experience together. I believe Oxy is their coach, so it's kind of 2 sets of 3. Oxy, Panny, and Netroid have played together quite a bit, and then, of course, Jake, Daniel, and Sot have been friends together quite a bit. Tons of talent on that team. Maybe the best mechanical team in the league, honestly. Like, between Daniel and Sot and Panny alone, those are, like, some pretty nuts mechanical players and just really, really talented. So that'll be a team that's really interesting to see. They'll be playing under the Warriors, I believe, which is kind of funny that the team with 3 out of 5 Warriors players isn't on the Warriors, but a team with 0 out of 5 players is playing on the Warriors. So that may take some getting used to, but super talented team. Really excited to play against them and see Daniel in his sophomore season, of course. Do people call it that? I don't know if people call it that. The Bolts, only a couple changes on the Bolts. They have Haddix back instead of Baskin, who joined the Titans, now the Ferrymen. And then they got Herwin instead of Awesome Jake. Hurry is somebody who joined the Scarabs at the end of last year in support and helped boost that team up quite a bit. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make Worlds, but I was pretty impressed with how Hurry played. I think that he grew a lot last year. He's only been playing support for 1 year, and I think he's kind of a natural at the role, honestly. I've always thought that the way that Hurry thinks is really good for the role, so I think it'll be exciting to see what he can do with that team and with an established core with Ven and Bera and Haddix, who are now playing together again. And then lastly, of course, their jungler is everyone's favorite little guy, who's not actually a little guy at all. He's like 6'1 or 6'2 or something like that. Lucas Spracklin Scream will be their jungler. Sprack, in my opinion, is one of the most talented junglers in the league. Definitely a dominant voice on the team, so it'll be interesting to see how, he kind of changes the way that team's played. The Bera, Ven, Cora has played together for, 5 years now or something like that, so a new perspective from Scream, but also somebody who has played with Hurry in the past, has played with Ven in the past multiple times. And the Bolts actually will also not be playing under the Bolts. They will be playing under the Ravens, which in my opinion, I'm a little salty about because I love the Ravens. I mean, I'm super happy to be on the Dragons, but of course, Baltimore Ravens fan, Highland Ravens, you get it. Colors are sick, logos sick, everything is sick about the Ravens, so I'm really excited to have this brand in the SPL. I think this is one of the coolest brands Hi-Rez has created for the league, so really excited to have them. Kind of cool to have the Bolts under a new name and kind of, you know, have a new identity with, you know, a new group of guys, so really excited to have that. Overall, I'm really excited for the league. I'm really excited to play against all these teams. I think the format of the league is quite different. We will have a play-in tournament at the end of February here to figure out the last few teams for the SPL. That will be played, I believe it's like February 23rd to 26th, something like that. Don't quote me on that. My brain just threw out random numbers, but it's the last week of February, I'm pretty sure, to figure out the last couple teams. Then a month after that, we will have a kickoff tournament that will decide 2 divisions for the SPL. Divisions are essentially the same as last year, except instead of playing every team twice, you'll play every team once, but then play the 3 other teams in your division in additional time. So you'll have 3 teams that you play twice, 4 teams that you play once, and then that'll kind of determine playoff brackets, and, you know, you'll kind of have interdivisional play, kind of how you would in, you know, the NBA or the NFL or whatever. Just something to spice up the regular season a little bit, bring a new perspective on it. I believe the first tournament will be 2 weeks long, and then we'll have a pretty big period of downtime because we're only going to do 2 splits this year and not 3. And then in the downtime, I believe they have other tournaments and fun events planned that we'll be doing. Of course, like I said at the start of the video, I have a lot of content ideas planned for that time. And then we'll go into the Worlds phase. You know the Worlds phase, same thing. We'll keep the divisions, but reseed it based on how everybody did at the tournament. And then we'll be heading into, you know, just the final push for Worlds and, you know, having, I guess, like a regional championship or whatever you want to call it nowadays, and then go straight into Worlds and have everybody compete for that. So overall, really excited about the season. I hope you guys are too. I hope that this video was helpful or exciting or whatever you want it to be, and I am really looking forward to year 10 on Smite. I've been having a ton of fun playing the game. I think it's one of the most fun seasons that I've played at the start, and from everything I've heard from the devs and from everybody involved, it's only going to get better. So I am super excited, and I hope you guys are too, and I'll see you in the next one.